You walk into a backyard barbecue. You told yourself that this time you'll finally be good. You'll just have a small plate, enjoy yourself, and not go overboard. It won't be too hard, right? But then 2 hours later, you're standing at the chip bowl for the fourth time. You've had 3 helpings of pasta salad, tried every dessert, and wishing you could just leave the party and go home. Today's episode is going to be for you if you feel like you do fine at home, but then social eating sends you off the rails. You tend to leave gatherings feeling stuffed and ashamed, or you feel like you're white knuckling your way through summer and it's exhausting. Summer can be hard and it's not your fault. There's actually a few reasons that I think summer can be a more difficult time around food, especially when we are at these big events. For me, anytime I went to a party, I would get so nervous because I had access to so many of my binge foods all at once, and no one would really notice how much I ate. Versus if I were eating from the brownie pan at home, people would notice if half of the brownie pan was gone. But when I went to something like a barbecue, I could stand in the corner and have a brownie and then go talk to someone and then go back and have another brownie and go to another area of the house. Or sometimes I'd even sneak food into the bathroom with me. I'd stuff it in my pockets so no one would know that I was eating it. So the large abundance of food at these events can sometimes make us really nervous, especially if we're not used to having them in our house ourselves, or we haven't done the mindset work to decrease the desire for these foods in the first place. Another difficult situation is when we're socializing. Sometimes that can be awkward, especially for all of us post-COVID. I think still to this day, even for me, sometimes I feel a little awkward in social situations, or the conversation dies down, or I'm talking to someone longer than I want to. In these social events, you keep using food as your social pacifier. You're using eating as a crutch to have something to do in social interactions, much like someone might do with having a drink in their hand. It can feel like a social lubricant where if you're eating, you don't have to do much of the talking, or it feels less awkward to be standing and eating versus just standing alone and not talking to anyone. So really, whether you're an introvert or even sometimes extroverts, I've seen struggle with this too, sometimes we can make food the reason that we're trying not to feel awkward instead of just sitting with the awkwardness that is going to come sometimes when we are in communications with another person. Depending on what kind of barbecue you're at, the food at most barbecues too tends to be really hyper palatable, engineered food that's processed or store-bought. The chips, the potato salad made with the store-bought dressing, hot dog buns, desserts with refined sugar. These foods aren't necessarily bad, but they do have an impact on our cravings and tend to bypass our body's natural fullness signal. So it's easier to overeat on these foods, especially if we're not paying attention to them, if we're zoned out, if we're trying to talk to other people, if we're really anxious at these events. It makes it a lot harder to stop at fullness because these foods tell our brain, oh, we're eating something nutritious based on the added flavorings in them, when really it's not that nutritious. It's just chips with all this added flavoring. One of my clients actually joined the Confident Eater program specifically for the reason of not wanting to binge during summer lake days and barbecues, because summer always was all or nothing for her. She would try to lose weight every time she went into summer, only to have it totally backfire and end up gaining 10 pounds over the summer. But this week she came to me for the first time ever, saying that over the weekend, they grilled and had a potluck where normally she would be worried about if she'd be in control, but this time she had no food noise over the weekend and just ate like everyone else. She went to bed and was able to sleep feeling amazing. She's also now been binge free for over 3 months, and she came to me feeling so surprised because it's been much easier than she ever expected. She truly thought she would never stop binge eating, and now she's having binge-free months where summers are truly fun for her now. So if you can relate to this, here is exactly what you're going to do to survive the summer barbecue season. If you're here in the US, we're coming up on 4th of July weekend, so make sure you save this episode. You can even re-listen to it before you go into your barbecues to make sure that you have a plan. The first thing I'd recommend is to bring something nutritious. You want to make sure you have options that you feel good about. It's hard to make good food decisions if you arrive at the barbecue hungry and all that there is gross hot dogs and white buns and chips and a plate full of cookies. If that's your only options, that's what you're going to have to eat, and that's okay. We don't have to go into all or nothing thinking here. We can have that move on. It's really no big deal, especially when it's one meal. But in order to feel your best, because you want to be leaving the barbecues feeling energized and light, sometimes it can be helpful to think about, well, if there was nothing there that I truly wanted to eat, what would I enjoy? Should I bring a bean salad? That's what I bring because I love beans. I am always on the bean train. I'm getting everyone else on the bean train with me. I'm bringing the bean salad. Maybe you want to bring a favorite appetizer that you love, some deviled eggs, so you have some good quality source of protein, or a veggies and hummus platter, so you know that you'll get some good veggies and fiber in too. If you want help with what you should be eating this summer, I made you a free summer swaps food guide that will give you easy swaps for the most common summer foods, but swaps that actually taste good. So you're not going to show up going into summer feeling like you're on a diet. So if you want some ideas of these healthier food options, instead of having the white hot dog buns or the traditional ice cream, I'll give you some ideas that feel really good to you in the link below. My second tip for you is I want you to take a lap first when you get to the party. Look at everything that's available. Identify the things that are actually going to taste good and satisfy you. You want both of them. Don't just go for the boring salad because it's healthy if you don't really want the boring salad and you're really eyeing the potato salad. Maybe you allow yourself to have both because we also want to feel satisfied. We want to make sure that we are energized and that the food we eat actually cures our cravings. In order to do that, it has to be balanced and nutritious too. So look around at the grilled meats, the corn, the watermelon, the guacamole. Find your favorites there and give your brain the chance to choose instead of just grabbing what's in front of you, right? It might be easy to just go through the food line or just follow what everyone else is doing, but really taking a moment to say, what do I want here? What sounds good to me? What is going to feel best for my unique body at this moment in time? And then once you have looked at everything, decided what feels nutritious and what sounds good to me, I want you to make a plate with it. Grab a plate, put everything on it, and sit down. A big mistake a lot of people will make in these situations is they will pick a little this, a little this. They'll grab a few veggies and hummus, they'll go back for a couple chips, they'll start standing around the appetizers, and then next thing you know, you've eaten a full entire meal of just snack foods and you don't have any room for the grilled part of the barbecue. So I want you to wait till you're ready. If you want to have an appetizer plate, fine, like make a little appetizer plate, enjoy that. But really wait until you're like, okay, I'm ready for my full meal now and I'm going to put everything out on my plate. I'm going to go sit down if you can find seating. Most of the times there's seating and I'm going to enjoy it. I remember I had another client, she would always go to a lot of social events and parties and she was like, well, Amber, there's nowhere to sit at these things. Like most of the times everyone is just standing and eating. And I encouraged her and I thought, well, if it's at someone's house, there's going to be couches, there's going to be tables. As long as the host is okay with it, you can ask, hey, is it cool if I go sit down at the table or I sit on the couch to rest for a minute? And what she noticed is when she did that, everyone else came and followed after her. She then had a group of people who came, sat down on the couch with her or joined her because they also wanted to give their legs a rest, enjoy their food. So it's something you might have to start if everyone else is standing around. But be the one that starts it or sitting down in the grass if it's summertime and we're having a nice outdoor barbecue. Sitting down just gives your brain an opportunity to recognize that it's eating time. We're not standing and talking anymore. We're not doing anything. We're sitting and eating. And we can still talk when we're eating. I know that sometimes, yes, talking can be distracting, but we're going to be talking sometimes. And that's sometimes one of the downsides of these social events is if you are working on training your new eating habits, it might feel a little more difficult when you're talking. But sitting down is something that can definitely help with that to really signal to your brain, hey, let's go into rest and digest mode now. We're eating food. So to recap the 3 things you're going to do at your summer barbecue, I want you to bring a food that feels really good to you, staying out of all or nothing thinking though if you don't have that food. Second, taking a lap first, choosing what both feels good and is nutritious and tastes good. Third, make a plate and sit down with it. When you do these things, these will allow you to really conquer your summer barbecues.